This is Cars and Bids.
I'm Filippo.
And today we have a little quiz. Filippo's going to quiz me on
the California driver's code.
All right. So when you come to California, you get a driver's license, you have to take a driving test. Is this still true, Eddie?
It is still true. Just like when you were 16 and you got your license, even if you're 70, you move to California.
Even if you live in Nevada or Arizona, like next door, you already have a driver's license. When you move here, you got to take a test.
Yep.
And I took the test 5 years ago, and I got them all.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You passed a simple, standardized, multiple choice test. Very proud of you.
I didn't just pass. I got them all correct.
Congratulations. You didn't commit a heinous violation of California driver's code.
Look, the point is you got to pass the test. So now you've come up with some questions.
I have pulled these. There's not a single place you can look for the exact phrasing of the question. So some of these are a little bit adapted.
You just went to the driver's handbook and asked questions.
And I pulled out some questions that I know are similar because I've also taken this test.
Okay.
In a normal environment at the DMV, you go into a little section, have a pencil, and it's multiple choice.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you choices.
Let me ask you a question. How many are you able to get right at the DMV? What percentage? Remember, it's like 70%.
70%, something like that.
All right, well, let's see how I do.
All right.
Boom.
Ready for the first one?
Yeah.
When is it illegal to drive off the road to pass another vehicle?
It's rare. Rare.
This one, by the way, I should note, was pulled directly from a sample test provided by the DMV.
It is legal to drive off the road to pass another vehicle. Rare times.
Describe one, please.
The times are rare. They're unusual. And I think we all know you can, if the vehicle is disabled in the roadway, if there is some sort of hazardous weather condition, or, and I think we all agree, if it's a school bus with a flashing stop sign, you can go around.
Do you want to give the correct answer?
I don't want to drive off the road to pass another vehicle. Look, I'll tell you this. I would never do it.
And that is the correct answer. And surely not to pass a school bus.
I thought maybe if the school bus was disabled and you were in some sort of tornado, in all three of those circumstances, you could maybe justify it.
If the bus is disabled and you're in a tornado, maybe.
Never. I could see some situations where you could want to do it.
Want to do it, certainly.
What if, for example, someone was trying to carjack you, right? And they pulled right up in front of you, guns out.
I think a general conceit of the test is that if somebody else is doing something illegal, there's maybe a severity question there.
Okay, well.
Keep that in mind for the next one. I'm neither a lawyer nor a police officer, for the record. All right.
Next one. How
many feet away from another vehicle should you switch from high beam to low beam headlights when approaching a vehicle that's coming towards you?
Well, I'll tell you this. It depends.
On when your car does it for you automatically?
If your car does it for you automatically, you don't have to answer. You have to think about it.
You don't even have to answer. Just go up to the person and say, I don't have to deal with this.
Also, if the person coming towards you is in a car that you don't approve of, maybe you just leave them. Like if they're in like a lifted truck and their lights are generally pretty bright, I leave that.
Some young impressionable 16-year-old is going to watch this and take advice from Douglas.
Okay, what's the answer? It's a number of feet, I assume. It's given a number of feet.
How many feet?
Okay. 300.
Final answer?
Yeah, sure.
500 feet away.
Well, I do it at 300 because my brights are not all that bright, and I get a Countach.
Your Sequoia has a giant light bar on top of it.
I do have a light bar on that car that turns on when the high beams are on, and it doesn't have automatic high beams. So I've been doing it too soon. Now, of course, they give it in feet. Nobody has any idea what 500 feet is. Nobody driving around has any concept of how far that is.
What do you want it to be in?
Like
meters?
Distance,
centimeters?
like feel. Am I wrong? Do you know how many? When you're driving down the road, do you know how many 500 feet is?
Of course. Some distance that way.
It's ridiculous. Okay, next question.
How many feet before a turn should you signal?
All right. Well,
this, by the way, is different from how many feet should you signal a lane change. Different answer. This is from a turn.
Of course. Yeah, obviously.
Of course.
Tell me that. Everybody knows. How many feet before a turn? Well, good question.
Thank you. You should really thank the people, find people at the DMV Driver's Test Center.
The answer now, and we've already established that I'm very well aware of how many feet things are.
Yep.
I think that the answer is 250 feet. 200 feet.
I think it's longer than many
150
city
feet.
blocks. 100 feet is the
100
answer.
feet, that's nothing. That's like 10 people. Lay down 10 people. That's nothing.
I know that you're tall, but
That is crazy. Folks, if you're watching at home, you got to signal 400 feet. That's like 10, 12 people laying down. That's not enough.
how tall do you think you are?
That's like 9, 11 feet tall. I don't know feet. I told you I don't know feet. I'm metric.
All right, we're gonna move on. On the highway, how many seconds should you signal before changing lanes?
That is what distance should be given in seconds. Distance should be given in seconds.
It's dependent on your speed of travel.
Yeah,
but
you're generally going about 40. Like I think
a nice little residential street, speed limit 15, going 40. A highway, going 40.
if you were to really think about it, usually you're going 40. Like when you look down, you're typically going 40 or so.
The best part of this is that the people off camera and I know that this is how you are in like normal life,
I don't
but our
know.
viewers don't see this.
I don't know how fast you're going. I don't know. Okay, seconds. Well,
Yeah.
okay, let me ask you this. Speaking of, what if I'm in bumper to bumper? Okay.
Right.
Do I only signal for 6 seconds or do I have to like put it on and like move over? Is it the same? Because in the car, when you put
This is a general guidance.
in the car, when you put the little tapper on, it taps 3 times, right? It like blinks
In
3
some
times.
vehicles, it blinks
Most
3
cars,
times.
it's
Yeah.
3. And I don't think that's enough blinks.
It's not.
But 5's too many. Do you agree? 4 is the number. In my Kia
Everybody
Stinger,
does 3 though, huh?
in my Kia Stinger, you could choose between 1, 3, or 5. But I wanted 5.
You could choose.
Yeah, I swear to God, everything in that car is configurable. It's so insane.
Huh.
Okay, the answer is how many seconds should you signal? I think that, okay, what do I want to see people doing? I want a good 6 seconds of signaling. I want 6 seconds.
I'll accept that as an answer. At least 5.
I'll take that. 5
Congratulations.
seconds.
I think this is your first one right.
No, I got that first one right. Never drive off the road, even if someone's got a missile, a rocket launcher aimed at you. You're gonna be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I gotta stay here.
We've never had a quiz go this off the rails so quickly.
Ridiculous.
All right. When is cell phone use legal while driving?
Okay, this is another
I
one.
want you to know, you expect the answer to be never. It is not never.
Okay, it's legal to use a cell phone while driving.
In one single situation.
All right, some sort of crazy, in some sort of crazy like equine emergency. Like if there's horses. If there's horses running around in the roadway or near the road, I would say near the roadway too is cool. You can then call. But like if it's like a dog or a squirrel, you shouldn't. Because that's not gonna cause a problem, really.
Who do you call?
That's a good question. I don't know. You probably call 911 and you say, hey, can you send an ambulance? There's a horse. They're big. Ambulances are big, and you can probably get a horse in one.
When making a call for emergency assistance, you can use your phone.
But it doesn't specify equine, which is surprising.
I think it's not broad enough.
I think it's too broad.
For
What
example,
is an emergency?
you see a buffalo? Well, that's maybe an emergency.
Bison. I'll tell you something. If I was pulled over for using my phone, I would say to a police officer, hey, I was making a call for emergency assistance. And they would say, what's your emergency? And there's horses on the roadway.
I think if a police officer pulls you over while there's actively horses in the roadway, they might
be doing something else with his time.
They might buy that.
All right.
Their
next
time,
question.
by the way. You should pull over and let traffic behind you pass when there are how many vehicles behind you. This question is poorly phrased and I needed more specificity.
Yeah.
This is if you are on a steep, curvy, narrow road.
Okay.
How many cars behind you do you then need to, per the California driver's manual, you need to pull over and let them pass? There is a number.
You should pull over and let traffic behind pass when there is this many vehicles.
Look, there were some mistakes made.
I think the answer is 1. Okay. If you're the slow guy on a mountain road, then there's turnouts. We've been in this situation
Who
before.
hasn't?
You pull over.
That is not what California
And
says.
I've always wondered about this because sometimes I'm in that situation, like driving to Palm Springs for like 40 minutes, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy just wants to have someone on his tail for 40 minutes. Like, let me go by. Let's let everybody be. But they don't seem to care.
The guidance is that you should, but there's a specific number of which you need to.
I'm going to say 3 vehicles. It's time to move over, according to the thing.
5.
5? Oh my God, that's insane. That's so many. It's like 2 is right. 2 is the right answer.
2 is a fair answer, but not what California says. 5.
Yikes.
I think the rationale is you don't want to pull over every single second. And there's cars where they would just want to move.
People, the really slow people should pull over every single second. I do think.
And then they will not get off that road for 12 hours and it'll be nighttime.
They should go faster.
There
Maybe
might
that's
be horses.
telling them something. Maybe that's telling them something like, hey, you got to get it going.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Are there more?
Yeah. It is illegal for a person 21 years of age or older to drive with a blood alcohol concentration, BAC, that is this number or higher. This is a standard question. Everybody knows this.
I think it's 0.08. Is that true?
That is correct. Percent.
0.08%.
Yep. Blood
There you
alcohol
go.
content.
I got another one.
Easy one for you.
God, I'm killing it. I can drive legally in California. Okay, you got another one?
Yeah, of course. I don't. All right. That was the final question.
Okay, that was the final question.
We have
I got
learned
them all, I think.
You got a few wrong.
You don't know what 300 feet is, regardless, on the Brights thing, or 500 or whatever it was.
I do.
You don't know.
Everybody
knows what that is.
that has read the California Driver's Manual, as I did last night, knows.
I remember when I moved to California, I downloaded the manual. I literally spent a day reading it, a full day, because I didn't want to fail, and I didn't want to.
Would have been embarrassing.
And I literally got every question right on the test. And the test only had like 10 questions.
They have a bank of some number of questions, 100, 200, and then they choose 10.
I was very nervous.
them.
Were you nervous when you took it?
Of course. I haven't taken a standardized test in years.
But you passed also.
Of course.
Well, I'm proud of you.
You think I wouldn't pass?
Well, some of these were hard. The leave the
Common
roadway
knowledge.
thing was. I'm still wondering about that. I'm still thinking.
If I feel comfortable giving the legal advice of if there's a missile trained on you, maybe you're allowed to leave the roadway briefly, temporarily.
Well, that's not what it says in the handbook.
Or if there's a horse around and you got to call the police, probably okay to use your phone for that situation per California law.
Okay, there you go. The California Driver's Handbook. Now we know some interesting things.
If you're 16, you learned something.
You learned something today.
Not a lot, but something.